Okay. When I say I think my mood is fine, it means that I'm stable and I believe that I am in transient circumstances that are going to resolve to the extent that I need them to resolve. The quarantine is not going to be fixed. The pandemic is not going to be fixed, but those are things that I have tools with and I'm not worried about. And honestly, I kind of live by myself anyway. It doesn't change very much of what I do. So otherwise, I got stuck in California at the start of the pandemic, and then I could not get counseling that I needed, can't get it. I started taking videos instead because I'm resourceful and they are working. Like, I am able to go back through them and start to understand what the fuck my mental state was. It's not as good as therapy, but it's not bad. The thing that really did screw me while I was in California is that I had all my SNRIs, I could get those. I had this, I think of it as an adjuvant, but I say adjuvant as a person who used to do antibody biology, and I don't know that that's exactly right, but basically it's like a helper drug. I have not been taking that lately because it interacts with the slow-release Ritalin, which is really helpful. It turns out that was the missing diagnosis. So part of the reason that I was excited and had to have energy was because my ADD diagnosis is brand new and it turns out to be fucking spot on. So to feel brain function come back and to feel weight lift because of circumstances that aren't related to the pandemic, I guess I can see why that makes my behavior look iffy. But really, are you not thinking about this? And that's just that. That's just the pandemic. And that's just a divorce. That's not this divorce. This divorce, I am pretty sure, and I know logic, I know propositional logic, I know enough set theory, I know the difference between valid and sound, and I believe I have a sound argument given the statutes that my partner was financially abusive all of last year. I found out recently that he has a girlfriend now. I also have found out, unfortunately through trial and error, that the plan I had to protect myself through this divorce did work just right. Like the last act where I expected some fuckery, it was a little more dramatic because of the fucking pandemic and the stock market crashing, but it was there. I was expecting it. I was not surprised when it came because I'm prepared. And unfortunately, what I prepared for was a divorce from a narcissist. Not as a diagnostician or as a doctor or a psychiatrist, because I am not that. But I prepared just in case, and I was heartbroken and completely unsurprised at every turn. That, while I was getting used to my new diagnoses and living alone and what it feels like to not self-medicate with alcohol as much. So yeah, there's a lot, but I was kind of paying attention to it over the course of this divorce, which, if it goes through June, will be 19 months. To the extent that I dragged my feet on this, it was because I was going through a traumatizing divorce and I was functionally disabled, if not legally qualified as disabled. Because actually getting that legal qualification is kind of a bitch. I don't understand how you're actually supposed to do it if you have a disability, truly. Not a mental disability, not a mood disability. But I did, it's fine. I didn't think I needed it because I thought the divorce was going to go better, and it didn't, so that's a fun thing that I've been dealing with, even though, again, I've been prepared for it. To get home from California, because I couldn't get my counseling or my meds, again, I had to buy a car. I had to fight with University Federal Credit, not University Federal Credit Union of Texas. They are great. They tried to help me. But who I did have to fight with was Credit Union of Ohio, who, when I asked why I couldn't get my money, they gave me some process answer and also a lot of attitude. So I don't know. That's an extra thing that I had to fight with to get back. That was in the last 3 weeks. I'm still angry about it, rightly. But I can't do anything about that right now. Yeah, this whole fucking road trip was a fucking shit show. I planned as well as I could, but I was planning on having usable rest stops in Oklahoma, and it turns out that there weren't any that were safe enough for me to stop at because they're all privatized. I had to basically, oh yeah, whatever, let's not get into it, but it was a traumatizing experience, even though it was wonderful. And then I got home now 3 weeks ago, and I've been dealing with his divorce from somebody who would appear to be on the narcissism spectrum and lives right down the road from me and wants my dog back, but cannot have this dog back because he has used whatever levers he's had to torture me. Definitely this last year, and to other extents throughout the course of our marriage, increasingly so. It's my lived experience. Okay, so there's that. I'm also having an argument with my boyfriend because I love him very much and I want to grow up with him. I do want to grow up with him, but grow old with him and do the whole, like, just have like a little farm, just some fruit trees. Not even like a real farm, just like a backyard farm. I want to have a backyard farm when I'm old, and I would like to do it with him. It doesn't really matter where. And it doesn't even really matter what kind of fruit trees. It just sounds fun. That's what I'm aiming for when I'm 80. But this person has their own trauma. They've got their own shit, and we are having trouble communicating. It takes more energy to love on him right now than I'm getting out of it. And that's not his fault, it's situational. But I don't have that resource. I also don't have my family of origin resource, because after I tried to set a boundary with them, just a very simple temporary no contact boundary for a couple months, that was years ago. They couldn't do it, and I finally had to send them a nasty, I just said, we're done. I had to make a nasty video to convince them to shut the fuck up and leave me alone. And I had to do that to my brothers and my parents. They should be helping me. I don't have that. I have to fight them in a way that if it were an intimate partner, we would just call it a fucking stalking case. Okay, so husband, family. Right. So my fucking family. It would appear that I have avoidant attachment disorder, which is unforgivable considering I was adopted as a newborn. Within 24 hours of life, I was adopted. I also have been in treatment, but have had for my whole life, I believe, essentially. Major depression, generalized anxiety, social anxiety. That's what I went into treatment for at intensive outpatient at Harding Hospital 8 years ago, and then I kind of just stuck with their psych practice, even though they have not always steered me well, like at all. Like, no. Yeah, I have to fight to get the treatment I need, of course. Thank God I have some wherewithal to do it. And then this last year, I finally accepted that PTSD and complex PTSD is an appropriate diagnosis just based on the symptoms. I've tried everything to rule it out. That's how I came up with attachment disorder too. That breaks my heart because it doesn't make sense. But here we are. Oh, and the last one, I finally got diagnosed with ADD at 38. I'm furious with the entire medical establishment and my parents for this, and just everybody. If I was an annoying kid, I think we know why now. And if I have been an underachiever, this like gentlest dose of Ritalin is starting to make me wonder if there wasn't something bigger going on there. I'm really looking forward to finding that out when my mood recovers, but I need to be done with this fucking divorce first. I need to be at I don't need to be at a stable place. Nobody's at a stable place right now. But I've trained like an Olympian essentially for these conditions, and I could be helping people. And if you've met me, you know that's what's really fucking me up. Not the divorce, not this fight, not my family, but the fact that I could be helping and I'm not. And not because I think I'm magic and I can fix everything or control any outcome. Whatever help I give. Whatever comes of it, all I can do is try to learn to help better, but I know that I can't control anything. But that's what's really, really fucking me up right now. That one feels like I should be able to control it, so I can't. That
that's why I am.